Damn. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Okay, let's get down to the skinny here. The Dallas Cowboys, Tyler Booker. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who the Cowboys draft. People are going to be pissed off. And, you know, if it ends up being that Matthew Golden becomes a star and great wide receiver and so on, we're going to be saying, we should have drafted that guy. And the same thing with Sedor. If Sedor becomes a great quarterback, you know everybody's going to be, yeah, the Cowboys screwed up, man. We should have got him. You know that that's coming. That's the way it is. So regardless of who the Cowboys got, somebody's going to be pissed off. That's just the nature of the beast. Now, I'm running around because my wife's having a get-together, and, of course, we have the draft starting at 7 o'clock tonight, and my good friend Richard, and I can't wait to talk to Richard because Richard is a Steeler fan and get his take on what the Steelers did passing up on Sedor and his thoughts on quarterback, if he wants Aaron Rodgers and so on. But here's where I melted down last night because I first of all, I didn't know anything about Tyler Booker, that he is probably the second, if not the best guard rated in college coming out. And the Cowboys always want to get the best prospect at a position. We all know that. But this is one of those ones where first of all, Jerry Jones is now talking about that the Cowboys are going to be doing the tush push. You know, we might start doing that tush push now. Quite frankly, I don't know that I want to do the tush push with my quarterback who's got bad legs. Let's put it out there like that. But when you think about your strength of your offensive line, assuming that Tyler Booker is going to be the right guard, and Tyler Smith on the other side, and Cooper Beebe, the juggernaut, the middle of that offensive line potentially is really strong. And that may be where you want to run the football right now. I can't say that that was the case all of the years in recent memory because, to be honest, kind of left a lot to be desired. And Joe Looney, incredible, you know, character and all that, it was kind of, you know, he's all right. He's all right. Be that as it may, the Cowboys were kind of forced into this draft pick. Now, don't make any mistake about it. If Ted McMillan had been there, I can guarantee you that's who they would have got because that would have been one of the best weapons in the draft. So we know that was there, but that wasn't going to be the case. Matthew Golden drafting him at 12 was just too high. It was too high, and they looked at it, and it's just like, yeah, we can take him, but it's kind of wasting. And so they did what the Cowboys always do, take a top prospect, a number one prospect at a position, and it was a position of need. Now, you know, Mel Kiper Jr. is talking about it's a reach. Okay, everything in here is a reach. You're reaching and hoping that the guy that you're picking is going to be a stud. And nobody really knows who's going to be good. They killed Tyler Smith. They killed Tyler Smith coming out because I don't think y'all remember, we were the most penalized team in football the year that we drafted Tyler Smith. And Tyler Smith was a guy in college who was highly penalized. And I remember Skip and Shannon Sharp, Skip. Oh, come on, Skip. They reached for this guy, man. This guy here should be a second rounder. Skip, the Cowboys don't know what they're doing. That's what he said. And Skip Bayless went on and said, oh, we were already the most penalized team. You know, this guy's going to have 30 penalties this season. Okay. And how many All-Pros later? Don't hear that anymore. So I'm going to give him that. But here's the reality of it is, first thing you must be able to do is beat the guys in your division. Beat the guys in your division. And so you now have the Giants with Thibodeau and Abdul Carter. That defensive front of the Giants is going to be insane. It's going to be insane. and you're going to have to be able to compete against those guys. Now, you also have to look at the Eagles, which we saw how they beat the shit out of Kansas City. Hold up. Sorry about that. That was my buddy Richard. Richard is coming over. He's a Steeler fan. And it's funny because, it's not funny, but he was like, I asked him, I said, so what do you think about Sador dropping like he did and your team not taking him? He's like, I'm completely stunned on that one. And he feels that he's going to be picked up by Cleveland with the first pick in the second round and will be able to haunt them, twice a year, which is, it's a valid point. This is crazy, the whole draft thing. But anyway, the other thing is you got Jalen Carter, who is an absolute beast over there. And so you have to say, we've got to be able to control the Eagles front, and we've got to be able to control the Giants front. And, getting McMillan or Golden's not going to help us. And it's not going to do us any good if Dak Prescott is on his back, or worse yet, in the infirmary, because we couldn't protect him. So you were kind of having this be forced upon you because we just really didn't have a choice. So I ain't mad at it. And now, having stood back a little further, we've usually done pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to do it this way too. I said this morning, when the Cowboys have drafted offensive line in the first round, I said, you look at Travis Frederick, you look at Tyron Smith, you look at Zach Martin, and you got Tyler Guyton. You really have to look at that a little differently. And maybe this is me being, the optimist and stuff. Because, yeah, Tyler Guyton, you can look at and say right now is a big question mark. But remember, we drafted two guys with that first pick, and the other one being Cooper Beebe. And if it ends up being that Cooper Beebe ends up being, what we think he is, then you start saying, when they've gone offensive line in the first, and by trading back to get it, I know that's kind of working. That's massaging the content there. It's massaging it because he was a third round pick, but you got that third round pick because you went after Tyler Guyton in there. Is that too crazy? It might be. That might be a little bit of a reach. Okay, I'll give you that one. It's a bit of a reach. But we're going to be, I got David Wiley that's going to be there tonight. Oh, and okay, who wants to go? Who wants to go? Who wants to go? Okay, there we go. Thank you. It's like everybody stopped and then everybody went. Thank you. We got David Wiley will be back today, and I got my good friend Richard. I haven't seen him since we redid his kitchen last year. And me, I'll be there. I think Mike is going out because, it's the second day of the draft. And not too many, it may not be as many people out there doing draft content that are live streaming it the second day. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it tomorrow or not. I've got to figure that one out, especially since we don't have to pick in the fourth round. But we may end up simulcasting with Game Time Brian as well. So, kind of double up and share it and things. But I'm looking forward to having a Steeler fan in the house for this, and I'm glad it starts out at 7. In the meantime, I'm sitting here trying to see if I can get me a couple of tomahawks. I should have thought about this yesterday, because you really want to salt those the day before and let them brine a bit, and then do a reverse sear on them. So if I can find some, check here at the butcher and see if they have any in. That'll be some beef to go with Tyler Booker. Peace out.